I'm going to show you a brand new way to write marketing emails that is not only going to make the whole process that much faster and easier and more clear, but most importantly, it's going to help you quickly craft high-converting marketing emails that build trust, make sales, and grow your business. See, after a decade of doing email marketing, both in my own business and for my clients, I can look at an email right away and know whether it's going to convert or not. And the emails that work and actually deliver clicks and customers and sales, well, it almost always comes down to them having all of the following 10 elements that I'm going to be sharing with you here. But things weren't always this way. Oh no, my friend, far from. Back when I first got started, I used to hear about all of these crazy stories about people using email marketing to simply send emails and then automatically generate sales overnight while they slept. Now, I'll be honest, it seemed a little bit too good to be true. But it seemed that everywhere I looked, people had found the secret and they were managing to use the power of email to turn words into money. But it turns out there wasn't really a secret after all, but there was a formula in order to create marketing emails that generated clicks and sales and new customers. So let me show you how it's done, starting with the first part of the formula. Number 1, topic. When it comes to creating email marketing, especially email marketing that you hope converts into sales and customers, it's incredibly important to keep it focused and centered around one single topic. In other words, it's got to be focused around a single theme or a single idea or story that you're going to build your email on. So before writing your very first word, ask yourself these questions. What's this email about? What do you want to share? And what do you want people to do when they finish reading? Now is not the time to take people in a million different directions and tell them about everything that you've going on. Rather, you want to keep it short and sweet and relatively concise. Part 2 is the subject line. Now, this is usually considered the most important part of your email marketing because if you can't create a subject line that gets someone's attention, gets them to click and open it, well, then it doesn't really matter how good your email is if they're not even going to see it anyway, does it? This is why spending just a little bit of extra time on crafting a really compelling and really interesting and sort of curiosity-invoking subject line can go a very long way. This is why before writing your subject line, I'd like to propose that you ask yourself the following question. What can I say that's both relevant to my reader and interesting enough that will get them to click open? After the subject line, you have part 3, a little known feature and often ignored part of your email known as the preview text. Essentially, the preview text is the text that appears alongside the from name of the email when somebody sees it in their inbox. Now, editing the preview text of your email isn't available in all email service providers, but if you do have the ability to edit it and to customize it, I highly recommend you do because it's going to give you another opportunity to hook and entice your reader into clicking open. One of the reasons that I personally use and recommend ConvertKit to my clients and to my students, not sponsored, is because their email service makes it really easy to edit the preview text as well as a whole bunch of other benefits to it that allow my emails to get clicked and to get opened. Now, like I mentioned, this video is not sponsored. However, I'll still put a link in the description box below this video where you can sign up for a free trial with ConvertKit today. All right, part 4 is the opening paragraph, and this is where people seem to struggle the most. Rather than just diving right into the email, they tend to stall and delay and fill it with fluff and unnecessary details or random information that the reader probably doesn't care that much about. The key with the opening paragraph of your marketing email is to really just dive right in and say it like it is. I mean, sure, you can say hi or hey or hello or whatever suits your style, but once that's done, it's time to dive right into the content. The reality is that people are busy and you don't want to lose them before they've even had a chance to get to the good stuff. Now, if you'd like to see exactly what this looks like in action, the best way to do that is to see how I do it personally. So you can sign up for my email list by visiting the link in the description box below or visiting adamerhart.com/cheat sheet. And you'll also get a free one-page marketing cheat sheet. Okay, part 5 is the main body of the email, and it's here that you want to do one of 3 things, or maybe even all 3 if it fits your style. I call these 3 things tales, tips, and terror. For tales, simply tell a story, either yours or someone else's. But the reality is that stories do sell, and they connect us on a deeper and more emotional and human level. For tips, share a few ideas or suggestions, or perhaps a useful piece of content that you've read or seen or heard recently. Anything goes here as long as your audience would find it useful and relevant to them. And for terror, Well, you can talk about a problem that your current or potential customers have had or that they may experience at some point in the future. The goal here isn't necessarily to scare them, but rather to prepare them for some of the future mistakes and possible minefields that they'll want to avoid in their journey. Part 6, well, this is the summary and your chance to wrap up pretty much everything you've just said. This also gives you an opportunity to answer any unanswered questions that may be taking place in your readers' minds. These could be things like, what's your point? Why should I care? Or how does this relate to me? A quick summary will do here. There's no need to repeat everything you've just said. And all of this leads nicely to the next part, the CTA, or call to action, which is part 7 and arguably the second most important part of the email next to the subject line. So by this point of the email, you've told your story or offered your tips or delivered some terror. And now it's time to guide your reader to exactly what they should do next. Never assume they'll figure out what to do next on their own. You literally have to spell it out step for step for them. Not because they're dumb, but because they're busy. And the job of guiding them in the right direction, well, that's on you. So tell them what to do here. Even if it's as simple as getting them to click a link or hit reply to the email or watch a video or simply think about and ponder all of the great ideas that you've just presented them with. Yes, that was a good idea. The point is just make sure that you ask them to do something or they'll do nothing. Part 8 is the sign off, and this part is nice and simple. Just sign off with whatever style suits you best. This could be take care, or sincerely, or ciao, or peace out, or whatever you want. You do you. Part 9, the PS, is another often overlooked and neglected part of the email and is an incredible opportunity to repeat your main points or highlight your call to action one final time. Many people, when they're reading an email, well, they tend to skim it relatively quickly or just skip right to the bottom, which conveniently is where the PS is located. This is why the PS section is an incredibly valuable piece of real estate on your overall email and an opportunity to highlight those main points or again guide them in the right direction with what you want them to do next. Also, fun fact, PS stands for postscript. And if you want to have more than one PS on your email, well, the correct way to do it is by adding another P for post rather than adding another S for script. So essentially you would have your PS, and then you would have your PPS. Then you would have your PPPS. Then there's the PP, also the PPS, PPPS. Part 10 is less of a part and more of an action, but important nonetheless. This is where you're going to review the email that you're about to send from top to bottom, ideally reading everything out loud as you go. The reason that you want to read things out loud is because it'll allow you to find any awkward sentences or phrases or words or things that just sound weird coming out of your mouth. This is important because most people, when they read an email or when they read anything really, well, they say the words to themselves internally through a process known as self-vocalization. So by reading the words out loud yourself first, you help to make sure that your email flows smoothly. Then, before you press send, ask yourself this one final, incredibly important question. If I was my target market, would this be an email that I would want to receive? If the answer is yes, hit send. If the answer is no, well then go back to the beginning and see if you can find any areas to make it a little more interesting or a little more valuable. Of course, none of this matters if you don't have an email list to send your emails to in the first place. And this is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video that I've got linked up right here on how to build your email list fast and for free. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video. To others' audiences, well, there really is no shortage of available options. But there are 3 platforms in general that I've found exceptionally good at growing your email list. So let me cover those now.